Hey toy fans, Aaron here. By viewer request, today taking a look at the Black Series 6-inch release of Vice Admiral Holdo. Let's head to the table and check this figure out. First looking at the packaging, she does come in that red and black box. Through the window you see the figure with just her single included accessory. Nice artwork along the bottom of Vice Admiral Holdo, along with her name off to the side. Looking at the right side of the box, you can see she's number 80 in the lineup. And on the back, things looking the same here. Top right corner, number 80 once again. Larger image of her that you saw in the front, placed here on the back side. And then a very brief description about her and what she's doing in The Last Jedi. And now looking at the figure out of the packaging, and I gotta say, I want to like this figure more than I do. And it's not like, to me, there's major flaws, but it's just small little things here and there that just add up to a little bit of a disappointment. First up, though, going right into the head sculpt, things for the most part looking pretty good. I think there's a very good likeness to the actress that plays Holdo, and her name is spacing me at this moment, and I'm gonna kick myself later when I remember it. Like I said, the likeness is pretty much there. From some angles, I think it gets lost. Pretty good face painting. It is using the photoreal face painting technology. I will say, though, that for me, the eyes, at least like an arm length away, don't come across that well. There's a very silver look to him. She kind of looks possessed. Once you get the figure up really close, you can kind of see that the eyes are actually painted in all right. But from a little bit further away, it just doesn't play well. Sculpting for the hair is looking fantastic. Great purple coloring to it. Curls are sculpted in very nicely. I feel like that might be the most intricate detailing for hair sculpting that I've seen on a figure. At the back side, top of her hair, she's got a little crown thing sculpted in there, painted in pretty nicely. That silver is laying exactly where it needs to be and not oversprayed onto the hair. Getting to the midsection, this is where things fall apart a little bit more for me. First up, she's done in this very nice soft goods fabric, and it's even a little bit stretchy. This is something I feel like that's a little bit different than what we've seen on other figures. So it does hug a little bit to the contours of the body or the figure itself. But around that neck, we're not seeing that hard plastic sculpted in, giving you the drapes of the way her dress should lay. For some reason on the figure they released, it's underneath the soft good fabric of her dress and not showing out in front like they did have it in Toy Fair. There's certainly some good detailing of that wrinkles and folds of the fabric in there. You're just not able to see it. If you wanted, you could certainly just plop that up and lay it over the dress and tuck things back together. Still, to me, that's kind of an unnecessary step that should have already been done. And also, due to the size of her dress, the soft good part around her shoulders, the dress itself isn't showing off as well as it was in the movie. You're not seeing some of her, I guess, collarbones of her skin, if you will. So for such a nice outfit, to me, it just didn't translate all that well on this figure. Otherwise, though, for that hard plastic, I guess we'll call it a hood, that's probably pretty large to be a hood, but maybe a scarf piece. Very nice drape to it sculpted in there. Nice folds of the fabric. Lays well against her back, and then that longer piece runs all the way down to the bottom of her feet. Sculpting through the arms is looking good, and I should say the coloring for everything for her outfit matches up very well. That hard plastic to the back, to the sleeves, and then even to the coloring of the fabric. So kudos for really nailing that, for keeping that blended together very well. But sculpting, like I said, for the arms, looking good. Some nice subtle wrinkles in there. On the cuffs of each of her sleeves, she's got some ornate detailing painted in there. And same as that crown on her head, the silver painting is staying right where it needs to be. It's not bleeding off anywhere else on the figure. Each hand also has a ring sculpted on there with a nice paint job to go along with that. And then for the legs, well, at least for what you're seeing, that dress just continues all the way down. And sticking out at the bottom are some nice purple boots, or heeled boots, I should say. And even wearing heels, this figure still stands up very well on its own. If you're curious, I guess under the dress, the legs are just sculpted in a little peach color. And then I would go higher, but I just kind of feel dirty doing that. So that's where I'm just going to stop this one. For the articulation, of course, that head's going to swivel all the way around. And then I'm pretty sure there's a double post in that neck. So you get some slight movement both at the top of the head and at the base of the neck. So it kind of slides forward and back like so. Because of the way her hair is done, you're not getting a huge range of movement, but you're pretty much getting what you need along with a little bit of side-to-side motion. Both of the shoulders do swivel all the way around, so no problem with that. And for me, at least on my figure, her shoulder joints for extending up and out are really tight. I mean, my movement in here is pretty much non-existent for some reason. So, you know, I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe some of you that have this figure are getting better luck, but I don't know what to say about that. Not a lot of movement going up and down in the shoulders. As for the elbows, you get a 90-degree bend, and then they do both swivel. Each wrist swivels all the way around. Right hand goes up and down, while that left hand goes side to side. Very good range of motion with that one. She does have some waist articulation right in here, so you could, without that dress, swivel that figure all the way around. A little bit of crunching forward and back, and even some side to side. And then for the legs, well, look at that. I guess we're raising the dress anyways. You can't really go straight out. They kind of open up. So that's what you're getting there. And then you get your twisting on the inside of that hip joint. And then also very tight, but that thigh rotates around there. Double bend at the knee. And then at the ankle, pretty good range of motion going forward and back. And you also have your rotation in there. As for accessories, as I mentioned, she comes with just a single blaster. Sculpting to it's looking pretty good, and I think that's fairly representative of what she used in the movie. You got a decent amount of detailing with some rings sculpted in at the barrel of the blaster, and then that same pattern of lines running through the side of the blaster where you got some silver painted in there, also some silver painted in at the tip of the barrel, a little bit of handle detailing, and it does, as you see, fit pretty well in her right hand, where she has that index finger extended out so you can slide it into the trigger. So overall, I mean, it's not the worst figure in the world. I think there's a lot of pluses here. Certainly the fact that they got the colors to match up so well between the hard plastic and the soft goods. And that fabric is pretty nice. As I mentioned, it's got a little bit of stretch to it and contours the body well. Hair sculpting's fantastic. But I just wish they would have kind of brought home the look of her dress, especially around the shoulder and chest area. You're just not getting that draping in there that we saw in the movie. And instead, it looks like she's just wearing a big, massive purple bib. And that wraps up this look at the Black Series Holdo figure. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on it in the comment section below. And as always, thank you for watching.